How are you doing, guys? Big Mate Danskull here again today, back once again with another episode of Warhammer Thoughty K. Wow, I started it perfectly. That was amazing. I think I did anyway. I mean, I guess I'm going to see in the stream now. Yeah, it seems to be working. I just need to get my pop-out chat window going, otherwise I won't realise when people are chatting to me. Albert's Modelling Mayhem has joined us. How are you doing, mate? It's your question I'll be answering today. I'm guessing that's why you've so promptly joined me at this time. Pop out chat, where are we? Pop out chat, there we go. Oh, what have I done? Oh no. Bear with me, sorry. Right, so I feel under pressure now that Al's joined us. Under pressure to get the answer to the question right, but there's only one answer I can give, and that is the answer from my point of view. Yeah, I am feeling much better, thank you very much, Al. Well, I say much better. Yeah, I do feel much better. I still feel a little bit weak and feeble. Although I went on a bike ride before. Jamjaw34 has joined us as well. How you doing, mate? Yeah, so I went on a bike ride before and it wasn't too bad. It didn't require much energy. I was going relatively slowly, only did about 5 miles. But it was alright, it wasn't too bad. I ate a load of peanuts yesterday, so I think that helped. Oh no, I've just lost the question. So, to address the question that Al asked on a previous Thoughty K video, the question he asked was, James and his stuff's joined us, how you doing, mate? The question he asked was, how much do you compare your paintwork with others, and do you allow paint jobs others do to measure your own abilities? Is it possible for me to be satisfied with my paintwork when seeing the work of others which is far better? Now, this, obviously, like I just said, I can only really answer from my point of view. Let me just get comfortable so I can answer the question properly. I've just realised I put my iPad in front of a load of miniatures, so I can't actually reach them, because I'm going to be painting whilst I'm answering this as well. A nice fun video for you to join me on. Get my phone out of the way. That can go down there. I'm back. So, wow, the chat's really, it's amazing when you schedule a live stream that the chat just lights up straight away. Everybody's going off in the chat. Yeah, so how much do you compare your paintwork with others, and do you allow paint jobs others do to measure your own abilities? So for me, that is a very good question. I compare my paintwork with others, but not in a way that makes me feel bad at the end of the day. What I tend to do, if there's a certain technique that I'm trying to master, I'll watch videos concerning that certain technique, let's say edge highlighting or dry brushing, something like that. I'll watch the videos concerning that certain technique, and then I'll compare my end results of my paint job to the results of the person who's done the tutorial. And you know, my paint job might fall short of that, but as long as I achieve something better than I'd previously achieved, or achieve something to the same effect, it might not be as good a paint job, it might not be as clean a technique, you know, edge highlighting, like my Deathwatch, for example. You take my Deathwatch, I edge highlight my Deathwatch because I really like the crisp, like grey-blue edges on the armour that you can get with it. But my stability of my hands, it's not as good as like most heavy metal painters probably, or Golden Demon winning painters. So my edge highlighting is never going to be as neat as them. So for me, what I try and do is get to a level that's as high as I can achieve in each technique. And over the course of the years, and over your hobby career, if you like, you will probably pick up tips and stuff like that along the way that helps improve you know, it might be a slightly different technique, it might be approaching something from a different angle, which gives you the same sorts of results. And you're only going to find that if you paint for years and years, really. Some people can come to painting and they've got everything straight away. I used to have a girlfriend years ago when I almost got back into the hobby about 10 years ago now or something. When I was 23, yeah, so almost 10 years ago now. When I was 23, and the Metal Harlequins had just been released. The new sculpts of the Metal Harlequins, sorry. So they're in sort of similar poses to the plastic ones are now, but they were not the ones from the 90s where you got a big box of like 20 or 30 Harlequins. That was awesome, that boxer. But yeah, they were very similar poses to what they are now. And I bought them for my girlfriend at the time to paint. She did like art at college, and I bought White Dwarf magazine, and they were on the front of it. And then I bought them at the time, and for her to paint. And I was trying to, we were painting them together basically. I was trying to do these diamond patterns on the Harlequin's legs and stuff like that, and I was failing miserably because, like I said, my brush control, my hands, they're not steady enough for that sort of thing, really. You'll notice I'm doing things like this. I'm bracing my hands against each other because it's little techniques and tips like that you pick up over the years. They might not be obvious to you straight away, but once you do them, once you realise that helps, you just you stick with those tips and stuff that you do pick up. So as I was saying, we were painting these Harlequins, and she was just taking to it like a duck to water. It was amazing, but it's because she did art. She did art at college, and the colours she was painting hers as well. They were really complementary colours and stuff. So she had an understanding of colour theory and stuff like that. Sorry, you'll have to forgive me as I clean my brush if it's making a bit of a racket down the microphone. The chat's died now. I wonder if that's an issue with anything. Have I dropped any frames? No, I've dropped no frames. Tabletop Banter's joined us. How you doing, mate? I'm assuming that's Callum, as I don't often see Harry on the Tabletop Banter channel doing chats and stuff, so I'm assuming it's Callum. Fantastic. So getting back to the subject, I'm just going to press my iPad again because it's gone off. So will I be? Well, I tend to do this when I do live videos. So this is going to be an odd Thoughty K video because I go off on a tangent or whatever, and I lose my train of thought. So I'll just refer back to the question from time to time. So is it possible for me to be satisfied with my paintwork when seeing the work of others is far better? Yeah, so like I said, ultimately, it's possible for me, definitely. It's possible for me because I came to terms a long time ago with the fact that I'm never going to be an heavy metal painter. It's just not something I'm going to be able to achieve with the hands I have, and also with the mind I have to a certain extent. I mean, I can always learn more. That's the thing. I can always learn more to make me a better painter. I'm just painting corn red on these miniatures at the minute, guys, and I've just realised there's not really anywhere for me to put any corn red on this guy. I've just been staring at it for about 30 seconds, trying to look for somewhere to put some corn red. So I'm just going to place him down there. So I learned a long time ago. I'm never going to be an heavy metal painter. I'm not likely to be anyway. I'm never going to reach that standard. So for me, it's never really been a case of believing I could reach that standard. But what I can do is get as close as possible. Like I said, it's like football, right? If you play football, and again, I'm never going to be a professional footballer. I'm 32 now. I'm a bit past it. So if you look at football, there's people out there who will play football all through school. They'll be in the football team. They'll join a club, and then they'll play regularly for that club. They'll play for the school team on a Saturday. They'll play for the club on a Sunday, something like that. And then they have hopes and dreams of one day becoming a professional footballer. But some of those people have to realise, the vast majority of those people, in fact, have to realise that at some point that dream's never going to come true. And it's a bit different probably with painting because you can always learn new techniques and new ways of doing things that are going to help you get close to to what these professional painters have and competition painters have, but still there's a gulf there between the average hobby painter and an heavy metal painter or a crystal brush painter. I don't know why I stuttered there. A crystal brush painter and the average hobby painter. But you know, you have to ask yourself as well, what are you trying to achieve with your painting? If you're a gamer, what you're probably trying to achieve is an army that looks amazing on the table. So you can cut corners in certain areas. You can say you don't have to do all the steps. If you follow the White Dwarf paint splatter articles, you can make your army look really good, and you can cut out some of those steps that they do in there, and your army will still look really good from 2-3 feet away when you stood back looking at a table, and the table will look really good and really thematic. You just need it to be a good enough paint job that you get immersed into the world a little bit more. I think that's what I like from a game anyway. I like it to make me feel like I'm within that setting in the Warhammer 40,000 universe or in the Mortal Realms. The only game of Age of Sigmar I've ever had was on a table in Bugman's Bar with Craig Kiblams. So that wasn't as immersive as I'd like, but it was good for us to just learn the game. All the tables in Warhammer World were booked up at the time, so yeah, it was good for us to learn the game. But next time we're playing, hopefully we're going to be playing on an actual table and have a lot of fun. And I know he's quite excited for the new edition of 40k as well. He's been showing off his Dark Eldar Coven, so hopefully we can have a game of the new 40k as well in the future, on a nice immersive tabletop. I'll show you one of these guys if I can, if the light's going to catch it right. There we go. So I'm just on these guys. What I'm doing is just putting a bit of corn red on them. Oh, I can't get the angle right because of the reverse image on the screen. Is that going to show? I've dropped him. I've dropped him right on my keyboard. Basically, I'm putting a bit of corn red just to add a bit more colour. I felt there wasn't quite enough colour on them. So I'm putting a bit of corn red on there. Anyway, you sort of get the idea. Some of them have got tabards and triegs, and are they called triegs? It's Ptruges or something. Them like leather strap bits that hang down from various areas. You see them on like Roman legionaries and stuff. But yeah, I think they're called triegs. Patriegs. Yeah, so depends what you're trying to achieve with your hobby, really. If you want to be a golden demon level painter, then you can push yourself further and further, and you can spend let's talk about a certain technique. You can spend hours painting that miniature, and that certain technique I'm going to talk about is non-metallic metal. Now, I'm quite happy with my Thousand Suns paint scheme. If you don't know anything about Heresy Era Thousand Suns, their paint scheme was red, and in the Burning of Prospero box, with all that release and stuff, the GW released a how to paint Thousand Suns and how to paint Space Wolves, or how to paint your Burning of Prospero stuff, basically. They released a book, I think, and it gives you a simple technique on painting the Thousand Suns or the Space Wolves. But the technique that GW used, was it wasn't the shiny red armour that I was used to from the Forge World miniatures. Like the paint scheme the Forge World miniature paint team use is it's called Tizcan Ruby, and it's like a really shiny red. And the way they do that is they spray, or they paint it with a metallic colour first, in this case Leadbelcher, and then I'm twirling my brush, and then they paint over that with Angron red, which is like a clear red colour, and it gives you this really rich red, shiny red colour, and it looks like a metallic red, or indeed a ruby. But what you can do to make like a metallic effect is non-metallic metal. Now, if you do that though, you end up painting. Say I want to make this axe. I want to make this axe non-metallic metal. I could spend hours on that axe. Now, is the result reward enough for me to be happy with that? because I'm just going to be using this miniature. It's not a display piece or anything like that. I'm just going to be using this miniature on the battlefield in amongst loads of other miniatures. So if I was to do that for every miniature in this guy's unit, it's going to be a case of the whole unit's going to take hours, days, weeks to paint. If there's 10 guys in his unit, they've each got an axe and a blade, and I want to paint with non-metallic metals, and they've got different bits of metal on them like belt buckles and stuff like that, and I want to paint using non-metallic metal techniques, it's going to take me days, like literally days as in 24-hour periods, not days as in like it takes me weeks to paint things at the minute, but that's just because I spend an hour on it here and an hour on it there. It's not like it's actually literally taking me days. So yeah, I could spend literal days, weeks, months even painting one unit, but I don't want that kind of result with my painting. So what I aim for is, with these guys, it was supposed to be a quick paint job, but like I said, it's taken me months so far to paint these guys because I'm just spending an hour here, an hour there. Yeah, so it's all about what you're trying to achieve with your paint jobs for me. It's not necessarily about comparing your paint jobs to others. I'm just going to read a question that Callum, it might not be a question, it's probably a statement that Callum's put in the chat. So Tabletop Banter says in the chat, you should only compare your latest minis with your last one. Comparing with others is great for improving your skills, but that's what it's about, constantly improving and being pleased with progress. That is a very good point, Callum. I actually mentioned that in this video and I recorded it earlier. When I got up this morning, I ate my Cocoa Pops and then I recorded the video, and then I went to watch it back. I recorded it on my phone. I went to watch it back, and I'm having a problem with the speaker, not the speaker jack, the headphone jack, which is what I use for a microphone. So I use my I use a microphone on my headphones basically. I tuck it in there, and then it's not recorded it properly, so the sound is like, I sound really far away. So it's like that, you can't really hear me. So then I decided to do this live one. And anyway, yeah, that was one of the things I mentioned. What you should be doing is comparing how you are 1 month with how you are the next month, how you are a month later, how you are a year down the line. And you can always see, more than likely anyway, you're always going to see an improvement because you're constantly watching videos of people painting. You're learning new techniques when you go to a game or something like that, and seeing how someone's painted their miniatures. You might say, oh, well, that's amazing, how did you get that effect on that miniature? And then they'll talk you through it. It's that constant exchange of information between hobbyists, which is that's one of the great things about our hobby. The fact that people are so willing to share techniques and stuff like that. It's less. It's not about competition of my army looks better than yours. I mean, it is to a certain extent. In certain tournaments and stuff, you have a best painted competition, but it's about, for me, it's about getting there as a group, not getting there as an individual. So if I went to a tournament and I had 5 battles against various armies, let's say it's a Horus Heresy tournament, my 1,000 Suns are painted to a certain standard. I'm happy with that standard. It immerses me in the battle. And then I face a Space Wolf army, and that's amazingly painted. Then I face an Imperial Fist army, that's amazingly painted. An Ultramarines army, amazingly painted. A Word Bearers army, amazingly painted. Then I've been more immersed in each one of those battles. So for me, our hobby is about improving as a whole rather than improving as an individual. So exactly like Callum said, though, you should only compare the mini you've just painted to your previous mini. And that shows you, but also know what you're trying to achieve with that miniature, like I was saying, because sometimes I'm going to talk very loosely about this story I remember from years ago. So there was a golfer called Nick Faldo years ago, and he was one of the highest ranked. How you doing, Rainbow Kiwi Bow? He was one of the highest ranked golfers in the world. He was really, really well ranked golfer. I think he's still on the circuit now and again, but he's getting on a bit. But yeah, he was one of the highest ranked golfers in the world. He'd won tournaments and stuff like that, major tournaments, and then his game started to drop off, and people were noticing this, and his game started to drop off because he'd altered his swing to try and improve his game. Now he went and altered his swing to change his technique basically, so he could, because the technique he was using only got him to this level, but he wanted to be at this level, just a little level above. He wanted to be there, so he went back, he altered his technique, altered his swing, and then wanted to improve just that little bit. And if you do that, then, like if I was to do that now, let's say I didn't thin my paints, but I could get my miniatures painted really quickly. If I didn't thin my paints, I get my miniatures painted really quickly without thinning my paints. But then if I start thinning my paints, it might slow me down a bit initially, but then it becomes such second nature that you pick up and you learn from that, and you move on, and you do get back to the level where you were before, only with better rewards. So the better rewards are the fact that you see fewer brush strokes in your painting on your miniatures. So again, it's going back to being more immersed for me. It's about what you want to achieve with those miniatures, with those painted miniatures, and what you're trying to achieve. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get this tabard done here, or loincloth, whatever it is. Yeah, so it's with this Thoughty K video. I wanted to do it live to make sure it got up basically, because I knew I was going out this morning for a bike ride, and I didn't have time to record another one. But I knew also, because I didn't do the I'm having a bit of trouble with my brush here, guys. It keeps splaying out a bit. I think I need to get some brush soap on it. What am I painting? So Rainbow Kiwibo wants to know what I'm painting. I am painting some Corn Bloodband miniatures. With the lighting I've got, it doesn't lend itself well to, especially at the angle it's at, doesn't lend itself well to the to actually showing miniatures on the screen. Let me see if I can hold something behind it, see if that alters the I tell you what, I'll hold that behind it. Is that any better? Oh, that's better actually. There we go. You can see what I'm painting now, and you can see how much my hands shake and why I struggle with painting sometimes, and why I'm never going to get to a Golden Demon level of painting. So I'm painting some Corn Bloodband miniatures that I was going to do a video for yesterday, with painting them, but then I had no energy. But the energy's all back now and everything. It was so weird, the lack of energy thing. It felt like I had like weights tied around my limbs and my eyelids and stuff, and then it was, I just literally didn't have the energy to paint. I probably could have picked up the brush for a bit, but then I just would have been like, no, I can't do it. I think it's partly mental as well, but I felt exhausted. It was so weird. It was when I got home from work on Friday. I was going to do the painting then, and then record a video for them for the Sigmar Saturday video. But yeah, and then my screen's gone off. Why's my screen gone off? There we go, it's back on. So yeah, I just had no energy. Oh, thanks very much, by the way, saying it looks awesome. I think it looks alright. I'm happy with it, that's the thing. This video, if you didn't know, is about being satisfied with your own paint jobs. So yeah, I'm more than happy with this so far. It's still at a stage where it's got plenty more to be done on it, but I'm more than happy with how it's coming along. That's the important thing for me. Being happy with your own miniatures and your own way of painting them. Oh, I've got a really itchy nose. Joshua Swan's joined us. How you doing, mate? Don't worry, you didn't miss out earlier when you had to rush off to work. I think you've gathered that now. Here we go. I'm using a Kolinsky Masterclass brush, the Army Painter. What size brush do people use? Like, to paint this like a bit like his tabard, right? You don't really need this brush. I could use a bigger brush, but I've not at the minute got any bigger brushes that are in a, or not that I can think of, got any bigger brushes that are in a good position for me to grab right now, to get the base coats down. Because this masterclass brush is obviously intended for a bit more detail than what I'm doing now. I'm doing more base coats, but it's always interesting. I think some people paint everything with a tiny brush. Some people paint everything with a massive brush. Yeah, I'm going to get a different brush. I'm sure I've got a couple of brushes here. Joshua's one's not too bad, that's good. Work was dead, so finished early. That's fantastic. Everybody loves finishing work early, don't they? Rainbow Kiwi, how she does doll repainting. Use a lot of paints and the skills used in mini painting. Yeah, that's the thing. Paint skills are transferable. I was saying earlier, if I think you probably joined us after I always like to put it back perfectly without splaying any bristles out. I was saying earlier, I think it was probably before you joined us, how I had a girlfriend about 10 years ago, and we painted some Harlequins together. She was miles ahead of me because she did art at college, so she had a steadier hand, she knew about colour theory, all those sorts of things, and it was, look at this brush here, it's rubbish. Oh, actually, it doesn't look, yeah, there we go. From that angle, it doesn't look too bad, but then you turn it there, it's like, it's knackered. This brush is absolutely knackered. Vast majority of the brushes I buy are just cheap ones. I've just got a couple of the Army Painter ones for detail work. But I think I need to start taking better care of my brushes. I've got some brush soap, but I don't always use it. See, I've got paint stuck in the bristles of this brush. I think what I need to do maybe is soak them in some airbrush cleaner. I did that once, and I was amazed with the results. I'd never seen any videos telling me to do it or anything like that, but I just did it out of curiosity, really. I thought, this brush is knackered anyway, let's chuck it in there, put it in overnight, I think, or maybe for a couple of hours. And then I pulled the brush out at the end, and it was amazing. It was like a brand new brush. The bristles were dead soft, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Joshua was just saying he was useless at art, drawing hands and eyes, the bane of my life. I enjoyed art in school. It's a long time now since I was in school. Hey, I'm 32 now, so I left school half my life ago. Yeah, so I did enjoy art in school, but I didn't do it at GCSE. I should have done. I should have gone on to do it at GCSE, I think. But when it came to choosing my GCSEs, I chose stuff that my friends were doing, because I was quite a shy kid and stuff like that. I just wanted to get on in classes where I knew I'd have people that I knew and stuff like that. So that affected what I chose at school. Oh my giddy aunt, just dropped a big dollop of paint in there. I think this wet palette has been not as successful as the last wet palette I made. The paint seemed to be drying out in it a little bit quicker. Maybe I've got the wax paper the wrong way around. Me and Kuja use Brush Magic to clean our brushes. I'll have to have a look at Brush Magic. Is it just I'm guessing it's like a brush soap, is it? Oh, I've got loads of paint on there. I shouldn't have put that much paint in. Joshua's one saying none of his close friends do his subjects, so he was the opposite. So he's the opposite. Yeah, it's I wish I was like that, where I could have just gone, yeah, I'll do these subjects. I ended up doing sports science. I probably would have done sports science anyway because I did enjoy it. What did I do when you chose options? I can't remember now. In design technology, I did electronic products, which I probably would have chose anyway. That was probably one of the subjects actually that I chose that I had fewer friends in. Electronic products. I think my what were the options in DT? It was electronic products. There was food technology or something like that. There was, I think, I'm just going to make a small announcement here. The Thoughty K video, the Thoughty K portion of this video has sort of ended now. I'm gone more onto just painting as I chat rubbish now. So feel free, by the way, if you just came for the Thoughty K section of this video, when this video goes up live, when it goes up once I've ended the stream, this is the end of the Thoughty K video, so I'll see you on the battlefield. But if you want to continue watching this whilst you paint along, then feel free. And if you're watching in the live stream, feel free to pop comments in the comment box as well, because it'll keep me chatting and keep me painting for a bit. So at school, what were the options in DT? It was electronic products, it was probably woodwork or something along those lines. Food technology or something. And design or something like that. I can't remember. But I think most of my friends did like the woodwork one. Or maybe they did the design one. But I can't remember if it was design or something. But yeah, I definitely feel like I should have done art at school. I think I would have done better if I had done art. Well, not necessarily done better. I didn't do terribly at school. I'm a reasonably intelligent person and I can learn things. I was never like top of the class in anything, but reasonably intelligent person, I can learn things. I had a reasonable aptitude for stuff like languages. Not English though. I was terrible at English in school. It's only since I've gotten older that I've suddenly learned to spell. I think it's because I read more now, because I didn't read any books when I was in school, apart from being forced to do book reports. I hated that. I used to read the blurb on the back and then base my book report on that. But yeah, when I got to college and Lord of the Rings came out, saw the first Lord of the Rings film, I was like, wow, that's amazing. I wanna find out what happens, so I bought the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I read that before the next film came out, and that was the first book I read. And then I bought The Hobbit after that. Yeah, this brush is not as good for the job at hand, but I am gonna stick with it for the time being. Ooh, should have put red all over. What do you think, guys? Should have put red all over this guy's banner, or should I do it like a flayed skin colour? Let's get a close up for you again. Once I've cleaned my brush out. I really need to get some new base brushes and stuff. Does anyone use GW's base brushes? Let's have a look. Right, so for this guy's banner, let's stick it that way. Should I... Oh, I need to turn it that way, don't I? Should I do red on his banner, corn red, or should I do it like a flayed skin colour? I'm not going. If I'm doing it a flayed skin colour, I'm not going to paint it now. I'm just going to skip it. But yeah, what do you reckon? I'm going to put him to one side for a second and continue with another miniature. Oh, Alwood's Modelling Mayhem says red. Fantastic. There's one for red. Let's have a look what's going on in the chat again. Joshua Swan, for GCSE I chose food tech, ethics, drama, Spanish and history. I did Spanish at GCSE. I ended up with a B. I quite enjoyed it, and I wish I'd done French, or I wish I'd done French as well. But the way the subjects were working out at the time, I mean, it's a long time ago now, so I think I'm remembering rightly. But the way my subjects were working out, I couldn't do French and something else, one of the other subjects I chose. So I ended up doing Spanish and whatever other subject I chose over French. It was probably sports science, actually. I'm not entirely sure, but I reckon it might have been sports science. Where's that brush I've just had? There it is, on top of the water. Now doing history, politics, drama and English at A-level. I had a friend that did politics and contemporary history at uni. I don't think he did history or politics at A-level though. He's my mate that I game with, actually, that I mention from time to time. He did that at Salford Uni. God, I've got a fleck of paint here. There we go. Yeah, he did that at Salford Uni. I think he quite enjoyed it. I can't remember what he came out of it with at the end of the day though. Alwoods loves Lord of the Rings. Fantastic stuff. Do you play the miniatures game, Al? I think you do, but I'm not certain. Oh, you had the I know why I think that, because you had the cave troll miniature, didn't you? And you converted it into was it Biggin? I can't remember his name now. I think it was Biggin, and you basically converted it into an ogre for Age of Sigmar. Oh, Joshua Swan saying flayed skin would be cool, and he uses GW brushes. How do you find the GW brushes now? Because I know they're a bit more on the expensive side than stuff you can get from the works, stuff like this. But how do you find them for taking a bashing? Do they last all right if you don't treat them too well? Because that's the sort of brushes I kind of need. Rainbow Kiwi Bow. Personally, I don't like the GW brushes, and they're way overpriced for. That's just what I said basically for one brush. And do go for red on the banner. That's 2 votes for the red. Joshua Swan got C. Can't speak much now though. I've taught myself more German than Spanish. I wanted to do German as well. Whenever I see your videos and you're speaking German, I think not that I didn't want to do German at the time, but I wish I'd done German now, because I visited Germany and stuff, and it's sometimes there's similarities between English and German. I'd say more between English and German than there are between English and French or English and Spanish. Because there's a lot of German influence on the English language, because of various stages through history, the languages people spoke that came into this country. What other brushes do people use? I'm not a fan of the so Joshua Swan's not a fan of the GW ones, although he does own them. He does use them. James in his stuff like the Lord of the Rings game. They split. The GW brushes split really easily, which he was quite surprised at. So yeah, that's what I don't want. I want a brush that I can treat a little bit badly. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna like drag it through my texture paints all the time and stuff like that. But I want to be able to not wash it every time I've painted a little bit. I don't want to have to go back to the water every time, kind of thing. So. Biggin is right, mate. Yeah, so that is the ogre's name that Alwood's converted from a cave troll. So him and the family played the Hobbit strategy battle game. There's a guy at work that the other week he asked me, because he knew I was into painting models and stuff. He asked me if I was interested in buying a Mines of Moria. I think it was Mines of Moria set. He basically bought it for his kid years ago for Christmas, and it's just been sat there doing nothing because his kid didn't really want to paint the miniatures and stuff himself, I don't think. So we got some other ones. He's well into Lord of the Rings and stuff, but not into the painting and gaming aspect of it. So we got him some other ones further down the line. That were already I don't know if they're just display figurine kind of things. I think they probably are. I think he got them from Forbidden Planet in Manchester. So he asked me if I wanted to buy it for. Did I say 30 quid then? If I did, that's a complete lie. I've got that figure in my head if I was thinking of offering him anything for it. But yeah, I think he paid 60 quid for it, and it wasn't what he wanted. But he said he doesn't want much for it. But I'm just at the minute. I've just I ordered the new edition of Thoughty K, the new starter set thing, yesterday, and I'm going to be splitting the miniatures in that with Kim, Dice Miniature Paint Guy, and sending them miniatures to Norway. I'm not sure how much postage is going to be, but I also ordered all the index books because I thought I need 4 of them, which is bad, I'd say, because it means I've got 4. At least 4 different factions, and I only ever play one really. I only ever play Orcs at the minute, but I'm hoping I'll get back to my Eldar at some point in the near future, and my Deathwatch I think I'd like to play quite soon, and my Imperial Knights as well I'd like to play quite soon. But yeah, the frustrating thing for me was the Xenos books. They're split into basically all the Eldar and Necrons, and then the other ones Tyranids, Orcs, and Tau. I kind of wish it was just one Xenos book, then it would have been one fewer book to buy. Yeah, I didn't need to buy the Chaos one, but it was part of a bundle deal. I kind of thought, you know what, I'll just get it and I'll sell it on eBay if needs be. I do have some Chaos miniatures, but I'm not planning on using them anytime in the near future. So if I eventually get around to building and painting them, that's all I'll probably do with them Chaos miniatures. Alright, what's going on in the chat? Yeah, so James in his stuff, Welsh is a good option at GCSE. Is that for you in particular? Or is that for anybody? I don't think it wasn't an option when I was at school, I know that. But I'm guessing you're in Wales, are you, James? German is Deutsch ist eine tolles Sprache. German is something speech. Sprache, I'm guessing, is speech. I could get on Google Translate, but I'm going to try and translate it. Tolles. What does tolles mean? T-O-L-L-E-S. German is like it sounds like it's like total. T-O-L-L-E-S. It looks like total is what I'm saying. This is me. This is how my mind works when I read something in German and I try and translate it. So Deutsch is so German obviously is a tolles Sprache. I'm guessing Sprache is like speech or language or something, and tolles could mean like total. But I wonder what that translates as. Big regret not being able to speak German for Al Woods. Yeah, it's weird when you're a kid, like, because I think for me, because England had a rivalry with Germany, I never liked the idea of learning to speak German. It's weird when you're a kid what sort of influences you. England had a rivalry with Germany, like in football and all sorts of things. And you know, the English clubs and German clubs had sort of rivalries. You know, Manchester United. I'm a Manchester United supporter, so we were, you know, constantly getting drawn against like Dortmund or Munich in the Champions League, and therefore I never wanted to really learn German. It was Spanish because I went on holiday to Spain as a kid, so obviously. But then when I got to choose a second language, I kind of wish I'd chosen German. Joshua Swan's going. Oh yeah, you could give me the answer before you go. That'd be amazing. Oh no, Al Woods is going. He's going to cook his tea, and then Joshua's saying goodbye. All right, so see you, Al. Enjoy your tea. Oh, I'm picking a miniature up and painting it again here. Yeah, Joshua Swan saying as well, that's why he chose Spanish. I'm guessing he went on holiday to Spain as a kid as well. You know what? I'm going to paint the banner red because this is a Thoughty K video that was sort of dedicated to Al Woods. So he said he wanted it painted in red, so I'll paint it red. I'm not going. German is a great language. That's what the answer is. German is a great language. Deutsch ist ein tolles Sprache. Is it tolles, T-O-L-L-E-S, or is it do you drop the S off the end or something? I mean, it's hard for you to tell me that because you're not on the stream with me. It's weird when you're talking about language and you're not actually talking. Like I always Google how to pronounce things, like triegs, for example. You know, the leather straps that Roman soldiers wear and that you see on miniatures sometimes. I think I've got some on these guys here. So there's leather straps around the shoulder plates and that. Come on, focus, you silly sausage. I think that's as good as it's gonna get. Anyway, the leather straps like around his crotch and around the shoulders there. It's oh, I just dropped that. I think they're called triegs, but it's spelt with a P at the front, so I'm not quite sure. Yeah, no drop in the S. German ain't French. There we go. Yeah, so it's different conventions in different languages. It's interesting to me. I definitely wish I'd continued my Spanish on into college. And then I think I would have had maybe a slightly better understanding of Spanish and probably of English because of it. Because there's certain conventions that go across more than one language. I could, of course, go to a language class now as an adult, but I'd have to pay for that, and it's kind of like an additional hobby as well. To enough of my spare time is taken up painting miniatures and attempting to play games with miniatures. So at the minute, it's not part of the plan. My nana, when her sister lives in Spain, speaks fluent Spanish, or she lives in Mallorca, speaks fluent Spanish. She's married to a guy from Madrid called Sebe Ballesteros. Not Sebe Ballesteros. He's dead now, isn't he? He's another golfer. I've spoken about 2 golfers on this stream, which is quite strange because I'm not massively into golf. But yeah, so my great auntie is married to this guy from Madrid, and my nana started learning Spanish when she was in her 60s, and it's one of those things. Your mind's more malleable, isn't it, when you're younger? So it's better if you do those things when you're younger. Like if you want to learn something, it's better to do it when you're younger. Basically, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Now, I'm not calling my nana a dog or anything, but I hope she's not watching. But yeah, the mind is more malleable when you're younger. So if you want to learn something, it's better to learn it when you're younger. So really, if I did want to commit to learning a language, I should do it now. A friend of mine's learning sign language at the minute, British Sign Language. She's going to finish stage 2 soon, I think, and I think she's going to start stage. Is it stage or? I think it's stages that they do it in, and she's going to start stage 3 in like September time if she wants to continue it. I think she does want to continue it. It's good for her work. She works sometimes with kids and stuff like that. So any extra help she can get, if there's a hearing impaired child in the group she's working with, then that's always a bonus. Right, let's have a look at this chat now. It's always difficult when you're painting, I think, to look at the chat. It amazes me. Well, if you take, for example, Wargamer Online streams, whenever they do a hobby hangout and Sam's supposed to be painting and showing you what he's painting kind of thing, he's always gets too busy with the chat, so he doesn't get much painting done. Which is probably better on his brushes because there's no paint drying on his brushes, and which is why my brushes get a little worse for wear at times. I am doing a hack job on this banner, I have to tell you. Going all over the metal here, but I can clear that up later. So, yeah, that's why I chose Spanish. This is going back to Joshua Swan. He's not going, it's German. German is a great language. Yeah, no drop in the S. German ain't French. If you can pronounce every letter, as in there's letters in German that don't exist in the English language, or they have an umlaut or whatever, Didn't know that. Learning something new every day. Oh, I wonder what that was in reference to. Towing the line. Towing the line. You know what? This is why you should look at the chat constantly, because I don't know what he's... Right, Joshua Swan is saying things in the chat now, and I'm going back to them after I've said something about 2 or 3 minutes ago, and it's completely gone out of my mind what I've said, because I find with live streams, they're so weird, because you tend to just start rambling. And if you're doing... Me especially. And if you're doing something at the same time, it's like your mind's concentrating on that, but sort of talking at the same time. It's almost like you're not quite paying attention to what you're saying. Joshua was saying it's just me in the chat, just him in the chat. Rainbow Kiwi Bow. I'm painting one of my Ever After High dolls. That's cool. Eyebrows are so difficult to paint. Tell me about it. Now, when I say tell me about it, I'm not speaking from experience, right? But I think some girls have trouble painting eyebrows on. Girls with lighter eyebrows tend to like painting their eyebrows on, don't they? to make them look, or sometimes girls with like conditions where they've lost their eyebrows, like say a girl that suffers from alopecia or something, but they tend to get them tattooed on, so it's not as big a problem for them. But yeah, you know, you go on a night out sometimes. I've not been on a night out for ages, I've just realised. You go on a night out sometimes, and then you see a girl, and she's like this. Right? She just looks surprised all the time, and it's like, what's she done to her eyebrows? But she's just painted them on, or she's painted one higher than the other or something. So I can't imagine what it's like to paint an eyebrow on a doll. I mean, I know your dolls are bigger than the miniatures we paint, but still though, it's especially because it's not like an anatomically correct shaped head or anything, is it? It's just a big round head, isn't it? Kind of like a pop figurine, but obviously on a different body. So getting those eyebrows right, I bet they are an absolute pain to paint. On miniatures, they're kind of like the brows are sort of implied by the way the face is sculpted and everything, but on those Monster High dolls, I bet it is a real struggle. Ever After High doll, you said you're painting, didn't you? I'm guessing that's just like a spin-off range from the Monster High, is it? Ever After High sounds a bit more like a fairy tale realm, if you like. If you sort of I'm trying to translate it into Warhammer terms here. So Ever After High, I imagine, is like a fairy tale expansion of Monster High, of the Monster High universe, and it's probably got like fairy tale princess sort of dolls. Whoa, the chat's just jumped up. I always find it weird as well when you read in the chat and then it just goes and it's like, oh my god, I just completely lost. I was watching a live stream of the Europa League final the other week, and I was watching that and Wargamer Online stream on my iPad at the same time. So I had the Europa League final on my screen, my computer screen, and the Wargamer Online was on my iPad down here. So I was sort of like looking between the two like that. And then I looked at the chat in the Europa League final, and oh my god, if anyone tried to follow that chat, it's ridiculous. It goes like, because there's just loads of people watching it and just saying stupid things. It's not like a civilized chat like this one, or like Wargamer Online get. But how some people keep track of their chat? I guess you don't, do you? You just kind of try and look at least glance at all the comments to see if there's anything of interest in there for you, and that you can expand on in your video, I guess. What was I saying? Oh yeah, but you skim over the chat kind of thing to pick out the points of interest. But yeah, if there was anyone trying to follow that chat in the Europa League final, I bet it was the same for the Champions League final last night. But yeah, I think after this miniature, guys, I think I'm going to cut it there just to warn you. So, and I was just about to say, just to warn you, and if anyone's joined us just recently, then I apologise, and I've just seen Malaga Wargames joined us. How you doing, mate? I've just remembered as well, now I've seen that, I've just remembered I still need to do an unenveloping of the prize I got from you. So yes, I will try and do that this week, and I also have to set up a giveaway for my own channel as well, a 250 subscriber giveaway. I'm on now 275 subscribers somehow, and I was intending to do a giveaway at 250 subscribers, but I've not got around to doing it, which is, it's weird, because I've become more dedicated to my channel in some ways, in getting regular weekly content up. At least one video a week is what I committed to when I started doing my Thoughty K video, which is what this is supposed to be, but it's just turned into a ramble. So I've seen my channel grow steadily over the past few weeks, months, what have you. But then I intended to do a giveaway at 250 subs. I'll just show you this one because I'm quite happy with the result of that. It still needs a bit of tidying up on the metal parts and everything. But yeah. I intended to do a giveaway at 250 subs, so I need to get around to doing that, and I need to do an unboxing video from Malaga Wargames prize that I won. Right, so I'm going to pick this piece of foam up and show you this. Adjust my hands. Let's see if we can catch the light there. Oh, you know what? It's just going to be better if I show you in pictures. Why is it so weird, the focus on it? It seems to be focusing, but then as long as I put this in front of my face, it seems to focus reasonably well, but it's not perfectly focused. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there now, guys. I've painted a unit at least. I painted some red onto a unit, and I'll do a little more, hopefully, for next Saturday. Like I said, I was a bit ill this Friday and stuff, so I didn't do any painting on Friday, and then I was in work on Saturday, and I still felt a bit dicky, so I didn't want to be doing a stream and then have to rush off for any reason. Let's just have a quick look at the chat before I go. Let's dedicate myself to the chat for a few seconds. So Rainbow Kiwi, I subbed very recently. Yeah, I saw that you subbed me. Thank you very much. Al Woods Modelling Mayhem, well done on 275. Thank you very much. It's, you know what? I'm going to do it. Call it a 275 subscriber giveaway. Like that's some big milestone. I joined Kujahara's channel. Now it's called Kuja and Kiwis. Yeah. So I saw that recently, and that you're doing a little bit of stuff together, aren't you? And you still got your own like dedicated videos and stuff. I watched part of one of your videos where you were talking about. I think you spoke briefly at least about the Monster High dolls and stuff. Yes, Malaga Wargames. Yes, I did get it. I meant to send you a thank you thing on Facebook as well, but I just completely forgot. I'm going to show you this as well before I go. I've got the undercoat down on Angron. Yay! Next, I'll probably spray him gold. Oh, he's spinning around almost. So next, I'm probably going to spray him gold because the vast majority of the miniature is going to be gold. So I'll just spray him gold with the Retributor armor spray, and I've done his base as well. Now, you can't see anything there. Let's see if we turn it that way if you can see anything. No, but there's like round this area here, there's green stuff working there, and it just looks like rock. It looks like the rock that was sculpted in there. So I was quite pleased with that. I'll show you in picture form, hopefully. Right. Cool mini. Oh, thank you very much, man. Joshua Swan does like the red. He's come round to it. Great red, says Al Woods. Now he must go. Enjoy your food, mate. Same off my tea, Joshua Swan. Enjoy. Sush. I have no idea how to pronounce that word. Yeah, maybe I should have learned German, then I would know how to pronounce it. It's nap time for Rainbow Kiwi Boat. Hope you have a great evening. Thank you very much. I'm sure I will. I'm going to eat my tea as well soon. I hope you all have a great evening as well. Yeah, so we'll leave it there, guys. I'll say thanks very much for watching again, and I will see you on the battlefield.